good. Never know. Okay, so today we are going to talk to solo business owners of public adjusting companies. So that's what today is about. We're going to do a quick 30 minutes, get you lots of information, get your head filled with ideas, and let you get back out there to run your business and grow it. So, hello everyone. My name is Lynette Young. I am a co founder and the sorceress of alchemy over here at ClaimWizard. We have a software platform. It's a workflow management platform for first party claims. Public Adjusters helps you manage your claims process and so much more because we're always adding things to the system. Okay, so with that, I will tell you that I have, oh my lord, 25 years of experience with public adjusters, and that has officially marked half my life because I'm 50 now. So I've been working with y'all for a while. So today's call, what we're going to be talking about, and I'm always going to be kind of like checking my stuff here to make sure that it's okay. Hopefully. Let me see. Make sure Facebook didn't freak out on me. Okay, well, Facebook is Facebook, right? We're good. So we're going to talk about three main things today, right? So I want to talk about if you're a solo public adjuster, so you do everything. You bring in the sales, you adjust the claim, you do the paperwork, you do your follow-up calls, you do your marketing, scrub the toilets, all of the things, right? So how do you get from that to having a company with employees that each have their own unique individual function to support you in that? So that's what I want to talk about. Our clients here at ClaimWizard, only about 5 or 10%, 5% maybe, are like solo folks. The overwhelming majority of the clients that we deal with, 3, 5, 7, 10, 20, 30 public adjusters and, staff like that. So our product is designed to work from the solopreneur all the way up to the multinational companies. It just works differently for all of you. But when working with different companies of different sizes, depending on what their goal is, sometimes companies want to lean down a little bit, kind of reduce their operating costs. Sometimes solopreneurs just like, I just need a little bit of help to keep my head above water, that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about today because I have experience on both sides and everything in between. So this is what we're going to talk about: how to best operate your business on your own. If it's completely you and there's no foreseeable help in the future, let's talk about how you can get a handle on your process. The second thing is identifying job roles that you can hire for. So what pieces of yourself are you going to start to peel off, and how and why and when, so that you can get a little bit of relief and on your time, on your sanity, give you room in your business to grow your business, sort of thing. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is how to best train your staff without taking up all of your time. Because we know if you have to sit with a new hire 40 hours a week and help them along with everything, that's 80 hours wasted, right? So 40 of yours, 40 of theirs, and then honestly, the lost opportunity cost that you can't do your regular work because you're sitting and training. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, very first thing when we're talking about how to best operate on your own. Nearly every single company that I have ever worked with has started off on their own, at a kitchen table, that sort of thing, and worked. Even if they split off from another company and have, multiple people or partners or whatever, it's always, starts with the one. So what I'm going to suggest in here is, as you're doing things on your own, you need to document your process. Now, if you're thinking, well, Lynette, documenting things is going to just take me more time and I don't have enough time. I'm already documenting claims and documenting conversations and doing scopes and all of these other things. So really what I want you to do here is every single claim that you work on, and I say pick 10 because 10 is a really good cross section of the general type of work and projects that you're going to be taking. So you might find 7 of them are residential and 3 of them are commercial, or all of them are residential, but 7 of them are for roofs and 3 are for roof and foundation, or roof and, the dwelling or whatever contents. So you can kind of get a good handle of what that's going to be like when you track 10 claims. And you could do something as simple as have a notebook with a page or a section for each, and anytime you touch a claim in any capacity, you write down what you did. So I know that you're taking notes and things in your claim file, but I called the person. They weren't there. I had to put a reminder in the calendar on my list to call them back. 2 days later, I called them back. I talked about the conversation. They needed this paperwork from me. All of those crazy things you need to put down on a piece of paper. When you're done with the 10, and you can pick up your claims, and you don't have to wait for 10 brand new claims. Pick up the claims wherever you're at right now. Your best 10, your worst 10, your only 10, whatever you've got. And then I want you to take a look at those papers, and there will be similarities across all of them. Now, when we work with claims, and kind of like how we see it going, is there are 3 distinct pieces of the life cycle of a claim. You have your onboarding process, which is a flurry of paperwork and deadlines and getting mortgage authorization signed and getting things notarized and all these things. And then in the middle is the adjustment period, where you're going out and doing the things that are related to your actual public adjusting license. So I want you to think about that. And then at the end, once you receive a settlement, you either kind of roll back up into the negotiations in the adjustment part, or you go back out into, collecting money, dispersing money, maybe pre-litigation, maybe mediation, whatever you need to do, right? So it's a pretty predictable path between those 3 of adjusting a property claim. So when you document this, I know you do things all the time, and that's one of the benefits and the curses of being a solopreneur, is that you are doing everything out of your head all of the time, and you're always going to be reactive to things. So what I need you to do is write down everything that you do. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to look at this, and you're going to say, where are the similarities and where are the inefficiencies? What are the things that I'm doing that are a total waste of time? Am I playing phone tag back and forth with someone to try to set an appointment? Maybe you want to think about, which our third part is on this, is building an automation. Use a program like Calendly, or we have it within ClaimWizard now for setting appointments. You can use Google Gmail Calendar, I think has them as well, where it's like, I'm available Tuesday at any time. Send it to your client. They pick a time that works for them. There's no back and forth, and it gets done. So you're going to be taking a look at what you're doing on your own and looking for things that are the same and things that are time sinks, things that take you a lot of time. It's usually going to be administrative work back and forth. So you want to look for 10 claims that you can follow along your own process. You want to audit them for inefficiencies, things that are taking you more time than you need to. And then we need to think about building automations or batching. So automations are one thing, like I mentioned with the product Calendly, I can never sell it right, allows, this is my schedule, this is when I can come see you, you pick a half an hour time out of that. Similar, very similar to what we use here at ClaimWizard for booking appointments, booking demonstrations, booking training courses, things like that. These are my times of availability. My clients get to pick a time and they take it from someone else, just like calling the dentist and making an appointment. Very similar. So those are the 3 that you're going to do there, so you can use that automation. But the other thing I'd strongly suggest when you're a solopreneur is to batch things together. It's very frustrating to go from a contract to getting a letter of representation out, to calling your client and welcoming them, following up with anything they need, going back to the carrier and trying to get the desk examiner and the field adjuster, get all your contracts together. Next process, sit down one time for the week, so twice a week, whatever it is, churn out all of your letters of rep at once. If you're in ClaimWizard, it takes you 5 seconds. You click a button, it generates it, and you're done. Dun, 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 dun. Print them all out once. Lick envelopes, stick them in the mail, email them, fax them, smoke signal them, whatever you need to do. It's much quicker to batch things. And then you can go and you can drink some coffee and sit on the phone with the carriers for half a day. That is another time sink we're going to talk about, and do all of those things in batches rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do all the 1s, all the 2s, all the 3s. You're in the groove, you're doing it. It becomes much more efficient that way. So efficiencies or batching and automation can definitely be your friend when you are a solopreneur. So The next thing that I want to talk about here is how to identify job roles that you're doing that you can hire out for. So I want to give you the hint here. In my opinion, the very first role that a solopreneur public adjuster should be hiring for is an admin to help them. And when you've gone through those automations, those batch processes, you've already cut out maybe some inefficiencies, things like that. You already know what you need to do. That's when you can bring someone in because you've already written what you do. You've already written your process and redlined out what you don't do, maybe circle it, move it around, that sort of thing to figure out what works best for you. But now you already have the starts of a process that you can hand to a different person. You could take all of those tasks that you no longer want to do, and the easiest part to give up is in the first third of the claim, that onboarding process, and get an admin in your company to do that job for you. There's a couple things with this. So I have a webinar out from last year that seems to be really popular. I never remember what I titled it, but it's a concept I've been talking about for years called $1, $10, $100 work, right? So you at the core of public adjusting with that license that you hold, that is your $100 work. If you hire an admin and her job is to generate proof of or letters of reps and to make welcome calls and to act as a customer service rep to your client, that is their $100 job. I'm not saying you actually pay them that. I'm saying, but the core piece of their responsibility at the company is generating letters of representations and maybe getting on the phone with the carrier and getting the information that you need. That is their $100 job. That is your $10 job. So give it to the people that make more sense. Don't waste your time on $1 and $10 work that doesn't really apply to anything that you need to do that requires your public adjusting license. Anybody can sit on the phone with a carrier and put in some information and get desk examiner and field adjuster names out. Your license is not the key to that. Somebody sitting on the phone and being on hold with State Farm is the key to that. So I want you to think about that. So I want you to first peel off, when you're looking at what you do on a claim or what you do day to day, $1 mark for dollars, $2 marks for $10, $3 marks for $100. Write down the stuff that is of low value compared to two things: sales you can bring in, claims you can adjust and close, because you need a license for that, right? So those are what I want. Everything that requires a public adjusting license or a law license or whatever the thing is, right? $3 signs go next to it. That is the work you are keeping, or eventually farming out to more adjusters, other estimators, whatever you want to do. The $10 work you're going to keep for right now when you're a solopreneur breaking out. That dollar work, pressing a button, generating a letter, printing it, putting it in the mail, total $1 work for you, $100 work for someone else. Go and take that, make that into even a part-time. Hire someone half days before their kids come home from school. Hire someone to work from home to do it for you. Hire someone that works 2 days in the office, 3 days in the office, the rest of the time they don't work. Whatever it is, you definitely want to start getting that off of your plate. So the idea here about identifying roles that you can hire out for is, what does your license require? Like, you cannot negotiate monies, loss amount monies with an insurance carrier if you don't have a public adjusting license, right? And we'll just say in all states, even though it's not the case. Hello, Louisiana, I'm looking at you. Some of the other things, follow-up phone calls, paperwork, that sort of thing, that can all go to someone else. So think about breaking it down that way. And then, because I have all my paper here, how to best train your staff without taking up all of your time. So I have my notes here. I'm going to put it here. So what I say is, the more that you can automate or computerize, the less knowledgeable a hire has to be about the mechanics of their job. They can basically just follow workflows and get through with that. Something similar to this is when a building crew goes out to a job site. They are given, direction. Okay, today we're going to it's drywall day, mudding and taping day, whatever it's going to be. Like they know, like they have to do that. And the only way that they can put up drywall, mud, and tape is if the framework is in, if the electrical, inspection was completed, things like that. You can't tape and mud before sheetrock's even up, and you can't sheetrock before electrical is run. And once electrical's in, you have to wait for that to be inspected. So there's a certain order to things. And if people show up at the job site and they're like, I'm supposed to be putting in sheetrock today, and there's not even studs for walls, well, obviously it's not getting done. What a waste of time that they got called out with materials and they can't do their job. So the idea here is to take the processes that you wrote, and it could be on paper, it could be a spreadsheet. I use a product called Miro, Miro.com. There's tons of free ones. If you can use Google Suite and all their free products, they have a program in there that you can draw pictures and flow charts and stuff. Make your process. If you check out help.claimwizard.com under action items, we have tons of free resources in there. You can get ideas of what workflows look like, and they don't have to be super detailed in the beginning. People just need to understand things that have to happen before a task is able to be done, things that task is, required to do, and then what comes after that task. Again, you can't mud and tape if there's no sheetrock. You can't sheetrock if there's no electrical in the wall. You can't put electrical in the wall unless there's actual studs there. So we're going to think about that, right? So that is definitely one of them, a visual workflow. I get pictures all the time from clients of Postit notes all over the wall. Different colors mean different things, whatever you're going to do. If you're going to do that, either on a spreadsheet or Postit notes or whatever, I want you to use different colors for $1, $10, and $100 work, right? So your work that has to do with being a public adjuster and having a license is maybe a green Post-it note because money, right? And then everything, the $10 work is blue, and then the dollar work is yellow, whatever you want to do, right? That way you're doing it all right now, but what are the very first things? It feels like you should get rid of the $10 stuff first, but I'll tell you, you're probably a little more closely tied in with that. The dollar stuff is a lot easier to give up right off the bat. And then it also gets you in the mindset and being comfortable with delegating work to other people, seeing how it goes, seeing how much oversight you have to see, seeing if it's the right person. And then you can either delegate more $1 work or start giving them $10 work to do. But the idea here is that you already have things documented from when you're doing that self-discovery process. In ClaimWizard, we have an automated system, so you design your workflow once, and it goes every single claim that it applies to. It goes to the right person, the task at the right time, with the right deadlines, with the right prerequisites done, with the next things that get done automatically, the next tasks get generated, the next people get notified. So a lot of times in public adjusting for my clients that are solopreneurs, I have them design workflows as if they had one or two other people in the company working for them. So divide things out. So when you go and you say, okay, I hired an office admin, now she gets all this stuff, you can easily just pick it up and give it to her and take it off of your plate. So it does become much, much easier. So one thing that I would definitely do with all of this when you're going to bring someone on is when you want to hire someone, you need to have an extremely dedicated and defined version of what they need to do for a job description. Just don't say type, file, take phone calls. Be specific. It's very difficult to hire anyone that has intimate knowledge of the industry that you're in, so they're going to have to be trained up on the lingo and the stuff like that, which is totally cool. They have to have good phone personality, they have to be punctual, they have to be detail oriented, those types of things, especially if you're not. So think about, don't hire like you, even if you are extremely punctual and all that. Maybe you need someone with a little softer side and a little, not maybe as like abrupt online or on the phone or things like that. So think about balancing out teams as far as personalities go. But one thing that I think is really, really super important is having a 90-day onboarding plan. What do I mean by that? So I have samples that we're going to link to, but basically what a 90-day plan is There's a book, and maybe I have it. I don't know. I didn't even read it. I didn't even need to read it. It says it's called The First 100 Days, and that's for employees, their first 90 plus 10 days, right? At a new job that they should, what things that they should be doing, quick wins that they should be doing, that sort of thing. To be fair, I did read the like cliff notes of it. I didn't read the entire book. But the idea of giving a new employee a complete path to follow, milestones they should be on, resources that they need to have in those first 90 days is critical. If they get to the end of the 90 days and they haven't completed some of the work, well, let's take a look and see, did I not document it well? Did they not understand it? Was the other work, like, there's lots of reasons why it could be. But if they get through the first 90 days and they haven't really touched much of anything, then that's the 90-day review, and maybe you can look for someone else. What's the term? Hire slow, fire fast. If it were only that easy, right? But you definitely want to take that $1 and even some of the $10 work off of your plate. If you feel there is not enough work for someone to do, do not hire them full time. Don't not hire someone just because you feel or you can't afford a full-time person. There are plenty of people out there that would love admin work, that are very, very good at it, that want to work 5 hours a day, twice a week. If they batch it together, if they have automation, you're basically saving time and saving payroll by having those automations in place that you had for yourself. And now instead of your admin taking 2 hours to do something, it takes 6 minutes, which means she or he can do more in the rest of the 2 hours. So things like that. So you definitely want to think about kind of time folding down, but you have to build those yourself. It's very difficult to hire a person and expect them to make these processes for you, because they don't understand the business. They don't understand the industry nearly as well as you do. We've been talking a lot today. So that's what I have for ideas for how to go from a solopreneur to a business owner. And I will say that being published very soon, NAPIA, the National Insurance Adjusters, Public Adjusters, wow, I really wish I knew what NAPIA stood for. They have a magazine that comes out, I believe, 2 or 3 times a year, and I put in a feature article basically of how to be in the business of public adjusting. So there's a lot of good tips in that. If you're not already a member of NAPIA, National Insurance Adjusters Association of Public Adjusters, I think that's what it stands for, that definitely go check it out. And when the magazine is available online, I would definitely check it out, because there is a huge article in there that I gave them to publish that goes over a lot of the intricacies of building your business, of predicting cash flow and operational costs and business structures and all that kind of thing. There we go. National Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Peter. I go to these events all the time and I just call them what they are, and it's such a tongue twister to get them back out. Peter, you're awesome. So that's that. But one of the biggest difficulties, now even before all of this work within ClaimWizard, that I found working and mentoring and coaching small business owners was two things, honestly. The difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. A business owner has calculated risk, has responsibilities, has a proven product, that sort of thing. An entrepreneur is a risk taker, and they like to go out, find what's broken, try to fix it, tinker with it, do all these things. A lot of people like to call themselves entrepreneurs. I absolutely will not do that with myself anymore. I have a proven business to a dedicated area of clients that we like to serve, and I don't want to mess with their livelihoods. I don't want to mess with their businesses. I'm not tinkering. I'm providing a solid, very needed service. So I'm a business owner. If you're out there tinkering and out there reinventing the wheel, have at it. You can be an entrepreneur. But to me, being a business owner is a little safer. And the second thing is, from coaching small business entrepreneurs and small businesses, is the leap from being on your own to that first employee is the scariest. Once you get 1 or 2 employees, it becomes much easier to navigate handling the rest, between getting a payroll service and paying Social Security taxes and all the boring things that people don't really think about running a business, are in that article. But definitely that first hire is the most critical to get you into the mindset of working and collaborating with other people. It took us a couple years to hire our very first person, and now we're up at 10 to 10 within, I think, 3 years. So, outside of our developers and stuff like that. But it is the most difficult, the most stressful thing to think about, putting food on someone else's table, to be feeding somebody else's family, that sort of thing. So I definitely suggest dip your toe in, couple hours a week, get the admin work off of your plate, and then we have plenty of other webinars that teach you how to hire your first or multiple public adjusters, how to grow your business, how to expand into different geographical areas. We have all that. So if you're interested in checking that out, claimwizard.com/webinar. Everything will be there. It lives on our YouTube channel as well. But it is the place that we are using as the kind of landing page for all things business, small business knowledge with public adjusting. So I think that's about it for today. Be prepared. There will be notes on this. We kind of like to do just a Thursday flyby, quick and dirty, no fancy, graphics or anything. We're just really interested in getting 30 minutes of your time teaching you a new idea, a skill, or knowledge that you may need going forward, if that makes sense. Stay tuned. We have in 2 more weeks, we are doing, you would think I would remember what it was. In 2 more weeks, we are doing a webinar on the benefits of professional accreditation. So I'm not saying things like NAPIA or Florida or Georgia or any of those associations, about getting professional accreditations above and beyond your basic public adjusting license. So stay tuned for that. Hit us up at claimwizard.com/webinar for the complete list, for the replays, and for a calendar you can subscribe to. And I think that's about it for today. Thank you very much, folks, and we will see you soon.